Hey Sherman, thanks for the footage here. Great work on the PB. I mean, so many people I know would be stoked with a 124 PB. So that's good. That's a good time. And if it's a new PB, this stuff is working, and it doesn't mean that there's no more room to improve either. So what I'd suggest going forwards would be to primarily focus on the catch. I think that is where big opportunity lies. I'll talk about that in a second. But I just want to mention some other things just related to what we've sort of worked on so far. So the kick, this is starting to smooth out a lot. That kick that you're doing there is much better. It's got less of that sort of thumping motion to it. That's a lot smoother. All right. So I'm pleased with how that's looking. One thing I'd be mindful of and try and do is when you take a breath. So okay, here, when you take a breath, that's typically when the hips drop the most. So the body position's the lowest when you take a breath there, as you can see. Now, what you'll have to do there is you sort of have to switch your core on a bit. You have to feel like you're engaging the core a little bit through this movement. So almost like using your core and trying to keep this left hip, not up, but you're trying to sort of draw your body, the middle part of your body up a little bit higher by just having a little bit of tautness through your core and midsection when you're in that breathing position. If you let it go and the lower back arch is too much and the hips drop, then obviously you're going to be slower. So just see if you can draw bring your attention to that and just try and keep the hips a little bit higher by using the core a little bit more through that breathing position there. It's a subtle thing, but it does make a big difference with the body, body position. Now, so I was going to talk about the catch. So with the catch, it's basically this movement. Okay, this movement from here. So where you start, the catch is all good to here. So if we have a look at this with another video or another swimmer, I'll just show you this here, and I'm sure you're aware of this stuff anyway, but so the catch goes from here down to here. Now, a good catch will get a high elbow position, which is if we draw a line from your shoulder to your fingertips at this point, the elbow will be somewhere above that line. So the hand and forearm basically moves down a bit before the elbow pulls back. Now you see at the moment that the elbow, if we draw a line from, let's try that again. If we draw a line from your shoulder to your fingertips, you'll see that elbow's below that line. And what that means is that your hand and forearm through most of the catch is pressing more downwards rather than backwards. So that's what we want to work on and work towards, is getting the arm somewhere in this kind of position here, because then you'd have so much more surface area pressing back. I'll just show you from the front as well and explain what we can do here. Okay, so, hang on. So if we have a look at the right arm, sort of there. So a good catch will typically have the arm out a little bit wider. Looking at this footage here. Pause that there. Okay. So that's typically where a good catch will be. You'll see the upper arm's out a bit wider in a position that's a little bit more like this here. So if you can stay out a bit wider there, and particularly at this point, this is the real key one for you. So you'll notice that the fingertips are pointing to the side of the pool there. That really drops the elbow a lot. So you always got to keep your fingertips pointing down to the bottom of the pool. If we go to the next part here, as the hand's passing under the shoulder, you'll see the fingertips are pointing down. This is such a stronger position than that there when the fingers come to the side. So if you were to think, as you're swimming, just keep the fingers pointing down rather than letting them come in and under the body, you'll be in a much stronger position there. Let's have a look at the left one. Left one's similar. Again, a good catch would be out here. It'd be out wider. There we go. And yeah, similar thing here, just be out a little bit wider. So I'd work on that high elbow catch and what we call the power diamond. Now, what I'd suggest is there's a lot of drills you can do to work on the catch and so on. I'd actually recommend go through the 5-day catch challenge. And if you've already been through it, you'll be familiar with it. But if you go through the 5-day catch challenge, and really I want you to focus on day 3 and 4, which is the catch and the power diamond. And it's got a good drill progression and sequence to go through there. So I'd suggest just spend, the next week or so doing working on the catch with those drills. And just remember, you're going to have to be a little bit wider than usual to get a good catch position. Because at the moment, just ends up coming underneath you a bit too much there. So just working on that catch position. You'll probably feel it feels a bit strange, a bit fatiguing. Initially, you probably won't be able to hold it for an entire session. You might hold it for 25 minutes at a time, but that will be the thing to focus on, is just improving the catch. Now, don't forget about those other things, obviously, but just keep those in the back of your mind as you start to work on that high elbow position. So the way you might think of it is you're trying to get your hand and forearm moving down a bit more before that elbow pulls back. So I'll show you this from the side. So hand and forearm should move down a little bit before that elbow pulls back. So just do a bit of that, get the elbow to bend, then you'll be holding much more water through there. All right, so that's what we want to work towards. Now, if you've got any questions, just let me know, but I'll link you to day 3 of the 5-day catch challenge, and I'd recommend go through that drill progression that's there as part of your warm-up, and that's a great way to start on that. And I mean, I can see if you're going 124, sub 120, is well within reach, because the catch is really that 80-20. It's that 20% of the stroke that can really make 80% of the difference.